You know what? I totally didn't click the mic button. So I've been talking for 2 minutes and I didn't even click the mic button. Rookie mistake. Thanks, Drope. Drope Show just called me out on that. That's why I have good friends like that who are like, what are you doing, you bonehead? All right, so let me tell you, now that I got to reiterate a good 2 minutes of what I was just talking about, let me tell you, rookie mistake, man. Rookie mistake. And if you're here, pop into the chat, say what's up. Let's everybody sub to each other here because if you want to sub to a great channel, sub to Southern Ontario Diggers because that is my good buddy Greg Drope and his videos next level. I want to say he's getting up there with Brandon Ray Neese, which is, I didn't know anyone could do that. So what am I going to talk about tonight? Depends on how long I talk about certain things because I'm a motor mouth and you guys know that. Where do you detect? We're going to cover that. I'm going to cover something that Andy O'Neill, who's been a huge help to me on this stream because he knows his stuff, and if it wasn't for him, I'm going to say this stream wouldn't be happening. So if you don't like it, yell at him. So yeah, I want to talk about something he just dropped that I thought was a great idea, and I actually filmed one about 2 years ago and just never put it out, and I'm glad I didn't because his was way better than what I did. I want to talk about detectors, new detectors, because there's a big detecting company that's going to release something soon, so I want to talk about that a bit, and then I'm going to get your input on some stuff, and then we're going to talk about GPR if I can, and if you don't know what GPR is, that's ground penetrating radar. So that's great for like bottle digging and finding privies and stuff. We got the treasure story this week. What I do with the treasure story and what I'm going to do with the treasure story every week is I want to try and talk about a treasure that people might not know. So let me run through. What is up, Tom? How you doing, buddy? Digging it. What's up, ambient girl? How you doing? Yartifacts. My buddies. And of course, and there is my buddy, Matthew. Matthew's been a little under the weather. He's dealing with something really hardcore. And another, as I said, let's all be a little family here. Hey, Gilbert, new listener. All right. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. So let's try and help each other out here. So I like to help everybody in the chat here. I'm already subbed probably to everyone except for Gilbert because I haven't seen him before, but I will sub to him afterwards. So if you're not subbed to everyone else in the chat, try to do that. Try and share the love because we're a really, really unique community. My beard is all over the place. Look at this. Have you guys seen Jack Black lately? He's got a YouTube channel. His beard it's epic, man. I started watching his channel just for the beard. I just filmed a promotional thing for Mindlab. I'm just waiting for them to tell me they're not going to use it because my beard in it looks ridiculous. So yes, let me go ahead and touch on what I want to talk about first. Touch on it. Okay, so I want to know where do you guys like to detect the most? And then I'm gonna do a segue. So a segue. I was actually a stand-up comedian in my early 20s, which is a while ago. I used to headline a club in Toronto called Yuck Yucks, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So a segue is when you use something to go into the next subject if you didn't know what that was. So we use that term a lot when I was a stand-up comedian. Obviously, I wasn't good enough at it because I'm not doing it. So I want to know, where do you detect? Okay. I stick to farm fields or old houses, but when I started out, a lot of people that start out, they don't know how to get permissions, or they're scared of trying to ask for permissions, it's totally understandable. It's an intimidating thing. Everyone, before you start asking for permissions, you think everyone's going to be like, nah, get out of here. But they're not. I'll tell you a trick right now, actually. Perfect trick for getting a metal detecting permission from a farmer. Have a 6-pack of beer in your trunk of your vehicle, and you always entice them and go, listen, if you don't mind me digging here, I got a 6-pack of beer for the permission, and it's a handshake, and you are golden. I have never been turned off of a farm field ever. So yeah, I want to know, drop it in the chat. Where do you prefer? So I'm seeing here, historic sites, public parks, too much junk and people. Yes. Prefer woods, fields, not experienced on the ocean. Okay, yeah. So, the ocean can be really hard. I've gone to detect a few lakes recently, and I couldn't even get into it because the waves were just smashing and crashing. It's hard to recover something under the water like that. So Ambient Girl is a newbie, only been detecting a short time, but addicted. That's awesome. That's what it's about, right? So I dropped something last week in the chat saying if I consider anyone new, anyone that's been doing it less than 3 years, and I'll tell you why. Because for the first 3 years of metal detecting, I absolutely sucked. And I'm not saying I'm the best now. I'm definitely not saying that. But the best part of starting out is I like not being good at something because it gives me that extra motivation. And I feel like new detectorists sometimes are some of the best detectorists when they're starting because they pay so much attention to details. Okay, it's all about the details. So they don't. A lot of them get a bad rap. I know some new detectorists that are excellent. They know their signals. They've learned the machines. They're learning how to cover holes. So we're touching on that right now. All metal. I like farm fields, historic sites. Yes. Fields that have pioneer schoolhouses. Yes, I like that. And Digging Adventures loves water detecting. I'll tell you what. Digging Adventures, Matthew, also known as Jersey Digger, one of the best water people in the world. I stake my Detexpert status on that. Talk about a person that pulls out a lot of gold, baby. Gilbert, beach, parks, fields, yes. And Tom, I prefer the wooded areas around well-traveled old trails. Love field digging in England. Ooh, so are you from England, Tom? I'll wait for you to answer that, and then I'll move on to the next thing quick. Okay, so the next thing, I want to talk about a guy named Andy O'Neill here. So Andy, I don't think he's here right now, but he dropped a video that I saw. Texan, I love hunting parks, beaches, and wooded fields. There's a lot of wooded fields. Okay, no, in Michigan. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So you've been to England, obviously. I'm excited because I get to go to England soon, and I've never been there, so that's a dream come true. It's just going to be for Detective Al, and I got to work the mine lab area, so I don't know how much detecting I'll get in, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, Andy O'Neill just dropped a video. If you have him on Facebook, then check it out. That's where I saw it. It's on his YouTube. But he dropped a video that I think is really important for people. I think as an experienced detectorist, we always try to reach out. I think 98% of us are really loving, helpful people that try to give back to the community, and then you get the occasional, But that being said, he just released a video that it's so simple and so so ridiculous because people are going to sit there and go, why didn't I do this video? Because it's a video that should have been done. And like I said, I recorded a video like this 2 years ago, and I just never released it because I was like, you know what? Anytime you release an instructional video, you get the jerk stores, and I'm going to use that term tonight, jerk stores, that they're, wow. I'm going to do this for the voice, okay?
You should have done this, so you should have done that.
So that's the jerk store voice, okay? If you're wondering. So yeah, the jerk stores, I'm sure they're going to be all over him, but I thought it was a really good video. It's very to the point. It shows the procedures. Only thing I would have changed was I would have liked to have him maybe say, oh, if you're in a park, then use your hand digger, which that's common sense. And maybe showing a top section of the top section of maybe the plug after, but it wasn't necessary. You could tell he dug a beautiful plug. His technique was perfect. It's what every digger should be digging like. So I wanted to touch base on Andy for throwing that video out there because I think it was a really good video. And I think as long as we're promoting a positive thing in the community like that, I think it's going to really help out all the new people. So I'll tell you why I'm touching base on this, because in Canada, there's been getting bans on public parks. I don't dig public parks anymore. I'm just going to adjust this down a little bit so you're not looking into my schnozzle so much. Better? Good. So it's been getting bans on parks and stuff, I noticed. And that's putting a lot of people out of commission with their digging. So, maybe if people are watching these videos, it's going to help them, So any way we can help people, I might release a couple of, instructional videos to help people out, but I don't know. What is up, metal detecting? I can't read the full names. I'm so sorry for that, but I'm just going to call you MD. Booyah. What's up, buddy? So, what am I missing here? The community on YouTube, Ambient Girl, missed the message, sorry. Texan at All Metal Mike. No, that's for someone else. No, he's not talking to me. Okay. Thanks. No, so yeah, I wanted to say, check out that video because I think it's something important that we need to, we really need to promote in the community, the digging aspect of stuff, and how it's going to relate to our future. All of us as detectorists, because these new people, a lot of them are getting in there. The chat's on fire. I love this. Thank you guys. So the new people that are getting into this, we get ticked off because we're like, how can you not dig a hole? How can you not do it? But think about all those years ago when you started out. And I remember when I started out, I've been metal detecting, it's either 18 or 19 years now. On the Minelab site, it says 17. That was written 2 years ago almost. So yeah, I'm going to say I'm at just over 18 years now. And I remember starting out, like I said, I stunk. And some people might say I still stink. So yeah, it's important to know how to dig a plug, and it's so easy you think, but if you've never done it before, yeah, Yartifacts has to play a gig in Petrolia. All right. Yeah, I saw that, buddy. I want to thank you so much for stopping in. Heck of me, the musician. And I love his kids. They're my buddies. Greg says, I find, though, the people who dig up fields just go buy a detector from Crappy Tire and go digging. They're just unaware of ethics. Absolutely right. Couldn't agree more. And I think that's the problem, right? I think, someone just goes and buys a metal detector. And a lot of the times, the people that buy the metal detectors are, I'm going to find gold. I'm going to find this. Because you have the shows that, you have two different types of shows, right? You have the shows that, make it seem like it's going to be this gold infested, you're going to pull out the golden manure and all this great stuff. And then, you're digging all these pull tabs and going, son of a... so yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think sometimes, a lot of the times they're scared. So they're rush digging. They're going, I don't want someone to know that I'm digging here or this and that. And then they're popping the plug out and say, it looks like turd. Texan says, I really felt great after my last video. I got several compliments on my plug digging. I'm going to check that out, buddy. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about doing it right, and then that makes all of us look good. So that's something I wanted to touch on. If you're not 100% sure on how to dig plugs, look up Andy O'Neill. We dig metal detecting on his plug technique there that he'll show you, and it will help you if you're not 100% sure. If you think you are, watch the video to just double check. Always work on your plugs. Always. I even get lazy with my plugs at times. I try not to, but if I'm in the woods, I'm like, cover it all back up, and then I look and I'm like, nope, not good enough. Not good enough. So as we know, there's a new machine coming out, and I'm not going to tell you when it's going to be released, but I'll tell you it's in the works. The Vanquish. So I mentioned it last week. I can't give any details of what I know, but that being said, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about technology and new machines and stuff that I think like, hey, I would like to see some other things. I'm an outside of the box thinker. It's probably why I'm so weird. So I want to touch on that. I want to know, what is your perfect metal detecting machine that doesn't exist yet? What would you like to see in a new detector? And that's what got me thinking about ground penetrating radar. If there was a way to add some sort of like visual sonar, I know that back in the day, not that long ago, but the Garrett 2500 had where it would tell you how big a target is. Really, if you want to know how big a target is, you just go over the target in a specific mannerism, and you can judge the size of the target. But that being said, I would love to see some sort of GPR put into a device, a metal detector. I'm thinking outside the box here because I don't remember who it was. I don't remember his name, and I feel so bad for that. But it's a fellow that builds his own GPR machines, which is, like I said, if you missed it, ground penetrating radar, okay? So I don't know, I can't remember his name, unfortunately. But that being said, I want to know, what would you like to see in a metal detector? Is there something that you would think, hey, that would be a cool bell and whistle to add on to this? And then, of course, I know the problem with the machines is, how much money is it going to add to the machine? Because, I don't know about you, but I'm not a millionaire. I don't want to pay $1 million for a machine, right? So is there anything you can think of that you would want to add in? So Texan says, I'm in love with white, my MX Sport, so whites. But if it was Bluetooth, about half of that, totally missed it, half the weight, I think he said. Yeah, you know what? I wonder if that's what my buddy Sean, the sergeant, uses. That's a good possibility. Not sure if he does or not, but I do think he uses that. And I think Silver Slingers use those too, I'm pretty sure, right? I don't know what Dave Wise uses. These are all people that are sponsored by Whites. Really, really nice people, all of them. Great diggers. So yeah, is there anything you can think of? So Greg says VR headset that can just see into the ground for the goods, no swing. Yeah, you're lazy. That technology is coming, I believe. It will be expensive, but it will come down after some time. Yes, I think you're right. I do. I think you're right. So that being said, I mentioned the Vanquish. How cool would it be if the stuff actually rose up out of the ground? Did anyone see the stuff all rising up out of the ground on that first commercial? I was like, if only, how much better my back would feel? That would be awesome. Yeah, so I'm thinking about ground penetrating radar, right? When I'm thinking about this metal detecting question. Has anyone ever used ground penetrating radar in the chat right now? I'm not sure. That happens with my Garrett machine already. Yeah, you know what? I've never used it, but I've seen some incredible stuff done with that. You know what I mean? I would like something that digs plugs for you. Yes, I would like that too. I would really like that. I have that. It's Dan. It's Popcan Dan. I make them. You know what? I noticed a couple of people messaged me saying, "Oh, Popcan's digging with someone else. Why are you guys not digging together anymore?" You know what? He keeps messaging me and asking, and I'm so swamped with other things that it sucks. I haven't been able to get out in a long time. So, I was invited. He's been digging with Bradford Beeper a bit, and I was invited to those digs, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I want to so bad. So no, Dan and I are still buddies. We're still digging together. I haven't been out digging, unfortunately, and he's hooking up with our good buddy Mike Dury, which is an awesome guy as well. So don't think it would take away the fun and suspense of digging. That's a good point. She's got a point. Pinpointer that can differentiate between ferrous and non-ferrous. Yeah, the Minelab one, the Profine 35. It gives a different reading for either. But I'll tell you what, have a hard time hearing mine. I only have 70% hearing, and that's why I'm so loud. If you ever wonder why I'm so obnoxiously loud, I only have 70 to 75% hearing. So I'm out there. Yes, but it would save on my body. Yes. I couldn't agree more. You know what? When you start to get a little bit older, and I'm not calling you old, but when you start to get a bit older, I notice at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah. You feel it, right? A lot of people don't know this. I have arthritis and bursitis in my knees, so if you ever see me on video trying to get up, I'm like, like a 90-year-old man at days. I beat the heck out of my body with all the exploring I've done over the years, working, you name it. But I still don't let it hold me back. So that being said, we're flying through stuff. I want to know. I want to, and don't say me, because you feel you have to. But I want to know, who is your favorite YouTuber? I need to know this, and then I'm going to tell you a story about something else that I'm just throwing in here now because I've gone off my list topic here. So I want to know, who is your favorite YouTuber? Drop it in the chat. I should say, what's my best find? Oh God, I don't know. I've been very lucky. I'm not going to say I'm the best detectorist in the world and blah blah blah. I try to be very humble, but you know what? I'm going to say recently, in the last while, I'm going to say that big fat silver coin. That sucker got me on tons of news channels and everything else. It was a 1.5 ounce solid silver, one of a kind token, which was really cool. And I donated it. I donated it to the Best Center, which is the diabetes center. And actually, let me mention that if you go into the description of this and you ever feel like dropping a donation to me, that's all well and good. You do not have to. But if you ever feel like donating to the channel, I'll let you know how this donation thing works, because I've never actually received a donation. I don't even know if I have it hooked up right, but half goes to the channel, half goes to the Best Center. So just so you know, if you ever do donate, where the money goes. Not that it's necessary. We dig metal detecting. That's Andy. Andy, I already talked about you, buddy. Sorry. So I was hooked on the Chig and Nugget, but it's been forever since I've watched anybody. Too busy making my own. Yeah, that's right. Nugget was my first favorite, and JD now as well. Okay, I know Nugget. Nugget, I've dug with Nugget. Yeah, Nugget. He's a good kid. Yeah, you know what? I try to I try to help out the Best Center because they've helped me out so much over the years. So yeah. So if anyone does ever feel like donating, I don't know. I think I set it up right. I don't know. But yeah. So half of that goes to the channel, half goes to the Best Center. Not an obligation. Don't feel bad if you don't donate. It's cool. That being said, depends on my mood, but I do watch a lot of JD, Nugget Noggin, Robert Ferguson. I don't know who that is. Chig and Diggin' Daytona. I never heard of Diggin' Daytona. I have to look them up. I know Chig, of course. Love Chig. Chig's awesome. Drew and Naughty Dog. Drew is I tell you what, man, he is a character, and I gave him hell, and I'll tell you why I gave him hell. Okay, so. Drew, if you don't know, Drew is Jocelyn, Relic Recoverist's fiance. Great guy, super funny. I get along great with him. I actually had him on my channel on a thing I used to do called Detectorist Talk, right? And so Drew, I was hoping, Jocelyn was just down here, and I was hoping that Drew was going to come with her. And I hope they don't get mad at me for telling this story, but so when he didn't, I was like, Joss, where is Drew? Because I thought he was gonna come, and he had messaged me like a week before, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna hang out with the boys, and I'm gonna go dig in here, and he went to a wicked native spot, so I'm sure he's happy that he went there, but she goes, you know what? He's a procrastinator, and I think a lot of people are procrastinators. I'm not. I'm lucky I'm not one, but that's probably because my wife would whoop me in the behind if I was. So that being said, she's like, he's a procrastinator, so he's supposed to get his passport like a year ago, and then it's the time flies, and then he's like, yeah, I'll get it, and then he doesn't get it. That's fine, whatever. So Ambient Girl says it's hard to pick, right? Because it depends on her mood. So yeah, I completely agree. You know what? I'll be honest with you. A lot of people go, oh, there's my buddy, Green Mountain. Everyone must know him. I tell you what, that right there is one of my top favorites. I'll tell you why. Not only is the stuff that he finds ridiculous, and like just incredible, but talk about, I don't know if since Brandon Neese, there's been a filmmaker, and I don't want to insult people saying this, but I think there's a difference between a metal detecting channel and Green Mountain Metal Detecting and Brandon Ray Neese. I think those two are. I look at their videos, and if they don't find anything, I'm like, wow, I cannot look away, and I'll tell you why. As a filmmaker, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm a guy who sticks a camera in my face, but I know the intricacies of how hard it is for them to do that type of filming. It's ridiculous. It's like next level. And all these shots that he adds in this stuff is remarkable. And he does his own music, I'm pretty sure. He's a music guy. He's and I'm always so grateful when I get to talk to him, and I thank you for stopping in, buddy. And if you haven't seen his channel, which I don't know how you haven't, because he's all over the place, but if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, because you will compare everyone to his videos, and everyone will come up short, unfortunately. That's the problem. I could go on for a lifetime about how incredible the finds are and how incredible, his videos are. And I think that you know what? I'll be honest with you. I've started to try and, on my last video, on my exploring video, I've been talking about this for ages with Brandon, who is an incredible filmmaker as well. And I always say, can I get some sort of tips from you on, maybe adding in something else? And then I find when I get there, I'm just like, I'm like, I can't, I don't know. I think I just don't have the attention span that he must have. And like even the shots where they're walking through the fields and everything, and he's got the camera set up, and I'm talking about my buddy Green Mountain Metal Detecting here. When even those walking shots, to film that, it's like it's cinematic, which is why I can never seem to not watch one of his videos. I'll be honest with you, I try to watch people's videos, but I'm so busy, and if I watched everyone's videos, I'd never get out making my own. But that being said, there's a couple of people that their video pops up, and I have to make the time to watch it. I have to. It's like I'd rather watch that than a movie. Not saying a lot. I like my movies. I want to go on now to a treasure story. So let's go to the treasure story for the week. If you're just tuning in, the treasure story is something I'm going to be doing weekly that I try to touch base on a treasure that you might not know quite a lot about. I'm going to read something right off the internet. I didn't write this. I'm going to kind of ad-lib it. I'm going to pick certain points and stuff. But that being said, I'm going to, read this off, and then tell me if you've heard of the treasure. Tell me what your treasure that you would really like to search for is. So let's pop this on the screen and let me read this off. Let me get my little notepad up here. So there we are. Let me tell you about what this treasure is, okay? This here is the Spanish accumulated a great deal of wealth after defeating the Incan Empire in the 16th century. Much of that wealth was stored in Lima up until 1820, when a revolt forced the Spanish to try and save their treasure by moving it out of the city. British Captain William Thompson and his ship, the Mary Dear, were put in charge of taking the treasure out of the city and sailing around the area until the revolt died down. Stricken with temptation, however, Thompson and his crew killed the Spanish guards and allegedly buried the entire haul. The Mary Dear was later captured, and the entire crew was actually executed, except for Thompson and his first mate. they agreed to show the Spanish where they buried the loot, which is why they weren't killed. They directed the Spanish to what's called the Cocos Island, which is now called Costa Rica. But when they reached the shore, the two spared pirates ran into the jungle and they were never seen again. So the question is, A, have you heard of this? B, do you think it was really actually buried on the Cocos Island, which is now Costa Rica? What do you think about this? I mean, do you think that maybe they ran ahead and got the treasure? And, so I'm going to tell you a little tidbit here. The Spanish officials at the time estimated the treasure was worth somewhere between 12 and 60 million. And an original inventory included a solid gold gem-encrusted life-size image of the Virgin Mary, along with 113 gold religious statues, 200 chests of jewels, 273 swords with jeweled hilts, 1,000 diamonds, solid gold crowns, 150 chalices, and hundreds of gold and silver bars. I said balls. I meant to say bars. Today, the treasure is estimated to be valued somewhere around 200 million. And guess what? Its current whereabouts has always stayed unknown. So what do you think? Where was it? Do you think they actually buried it there? I'm questioning it. I don't know. If they did bury it there, I'm wondering if they didn't run in and try and grab it. But that's a lot of treasure for two people to bury or dig up. I'll tell you a story about my area here. I don't even know if I talked about it last time. I'm probably going to talk about it every time because I'm going to see now. So last time, when at a place not far from me here, in the War of 1812, so the British and Canadians were bringing loot over in a ship, and they were trying to bring it to the American soldiers, the British and Canadian soldiers and such. And back then it was the British, Canadian, and some natives. So they all worked together to go against the Americans. And, we're all buddies now, which is good. But back then, a lot of tension. So that being said, the ship was run into the shore somewhere, and they basically grabbed the stuff that was on board and supposedly buried it. And the Americans burned the ships down and later caught up with the people on board and killed them. But the treasure was never found. I might actually go hunting it at some point. No lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to try and hunt it. But the ground's changed a lot. It's hearsay. No one knows if the story's true. So Texans heard of it, and I believe it to an extent. I believe it was retrieved. But if you were going to dig up a treasure, you would keep it at secret, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Ambient Girl, very interesting. That much treasure probably isn't there and perhaps lost somewhere else. Yeah, that's a good possibility. Especially when it relates to sea. So I'll tell you, I'm going to say a good 93 to 95% of the oceans are still unexplored. No matter how much you explore, there's going to be a huge a huge amount of oceans that are not going to be explored, it's sad, but one day there's going to be a lot of treasure found. I was watching a documentary actually on Netflix. If you're wondering why I keep looking up there, my chat's up there. I got two different things going here. So my chat's up there and my listing's down here. So that's why I look like, so yeah. What was I going on about here? Dang it. I never should have sidetracked myself. Let me just read something in the chat. I'll think about what I was talking. Pirate Island off Madagascar or El Camino Real Trail treasure would be good possibilities. Yes, I completely agree. That is treasures that I have looked into a little bit. Not that I'm going to go there to hunt them, but I just love the stories. I think that's a huge part of being a treasure hunter, right? Is all the cool stories that are part of it. I remember what I was saying now, I think. I lost it again. Dang it. Someone help me. What was I going on about? Oh, yes. The documentary on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it. It's Incredible something. Treasures of the Incredible something. If you've seen this, drop a message in there because those treasures are remarkable. There was so many big gold statues pulled out of there and everything else. So All Metal says first step is to do research to corroborate the story and get more details and leads. Absolutely. So I'm going to say on anything you do that's treasure related, research is a good 90% of it. And I think that's so important. Yardifacts is back. Is your gig over already? Or that's such a big, important part of it. And that's how, I think that's how a lot of people, are able to pull treasure. And the most important part is being able to relate that treasure to where it came from. I love nothing more than finding out exactly who the treasure belonged to. And then if I could even, returning the treasure to a member of the family. Not that I don't like keeping treasure. I'm not an idiot. But, I think it's important that sometimes you get to return certain treasures to the people that it's going to be most important to. Looks like I got a new subscriber there, Beep Seeker. It's hard for me to read the little thing there. I really, really appreciate you subbing to the channel. Make sure everyone subs to each other in the chats here. Let's build each other up here. Let's make sure that everyone's supporting each other because that's what's important. So Yartifacts Diggers thinks that's fake, that story. I don't know. It's hard to say. A lot of people talk about certain stories and think it is fake. A lot of people think the Curse of Oak Island treasure doesn't exist, or they think William Bald got it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Oak Island? Do you think they are ever... Oh, thanks, buddy. Do you think anything is ever going to be found at Oak Island? Other than, stuff that we've found. I've found stuff that's being found on Oak Island. I want to know, does Oak Island still have treasure? Hit me. Yes or no? Then I'll give you what I think. All Metal, that Netflix show is great. Up to the point where I realized it was fake. Is it fake? The Netflix show is fake? Stories change as they are passed through time. Absolutely. Couldn't be more accurate with that. I find a lot of stories have... it's the broken telephone effect, right? So if you don't know what broken telephone is, you didn't go to school. No, broken telephone is, someone tells... one person something, and then all of a sudden that goes to, I spoke with one of the Oak Island showrunners, and he said they have a vested interest to not find any treasure because the show would be over. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. I feel like with that show... They do this. They do the dangle effect. That's me dangling something right there if you didn't know that. So they do the dangle effect. So what that is they'll find, something. And I notice, even if it's gold-plated, they go, gold. They call it gold. They don't say gold-plated or gold-filled. And gold-filled is something different from gold. It's got gold in it, but it's not pure gold. It has gold flake and such. I think I think you're right with that. I do. I think you're on the money with that. Gary Drayton dug his Templar Cross about the same time I dug mine. There has to be more on Oak Island. Yeah, you dug. Oh wow, I think I've seen like 2 or 3 people dig those now, and there's no doubt that looks old. So That's cool. I would love to see a picture of that. That's awesome. True Green Mountain Metal Detecting. Still enjoy watching it, especially the Gary Drayton parts. Hello, everyone. Made it finally. Yes. Thank you for coming. Yeah, you know what? I know Gary pretty well. Gary's he's a character. He's a pretty good guy. You got to know how to take Gary. So when we hang out, and Gilbert says no, he doesn't believe they will. When I hang out with Gary, I try to pick his brain about the show sometimes because I'm friends with a couple people that are on the show. I'm friends with Laird Niven, who is the archaeologist on the show. I'm friends with Gary, of course. So Laird, I don't want to say what Laird tells me because he's under contract and he can only tell me so much. So I'm not saying he tells me amazing things or anything, but I like talking to Laird because he gets excited about stuff. He's like, well, I'm excited about this structure we found. He's an archaeologist, right? So he's a fact guy, okay? So that's the way I'm going to say it. So straight up, what I said to Laird before is, do you think they will ever find anything on Oak Island? And he says, I said, do you think there is treasure on Oak Island? And I'm a to the point guy. I don't kick a lot of sand. I'm just like, I'm out there. So he says, and I quote, and this is the most politically correct answer in the entire universe. He says, I'm a fact person. My job is to take all the facts and then uncover the true story. He's not interested in, sugarcoating it and, oh, this is that. He just wants to know what was there, why it was there, what it was. So if I dig with Gary, I won't be forced to eat the pickled eel Josh Gates had to eat. Gross. Archaeologist Society have stopped us digging in all state parks. Wow, no way. That's terrible. So, okay, let me touch base on archaeologists. And if you don't know, I talked about this last time. I'm in the process of possibly hosting a treasure show that will incorporate archaeologists for I think it's Travel Channel, and I've been told I can say that much. So if the show gets picked up, what I said to the production company that contacted me to host it, I said, archaeologists might not like me. I have a friend that was a former archaeologist, but they might not like me. I'm a detectorist. So I'm a little nervous about that because I have to work with archaeologists, and they're, I've got a great friend that's on Oak Island, Laird, great guy, nicest guy you'll ever meet. Loves me. He refers people to me. Greg Drope didn't know what a coin was, and he goes, go talk to my buddy Redbeard. But that being said, not every archaeologist is like him. And unfortunately, I think he's had a big backlash from the archaeological community because, let's face it, a lot of archaeologists, and this is no disrespect to archaeology, I wanted to be an archaeologist or a paleontologist. I think they're like this, right? So you know what that means. Sorry for the visual. That means they've got their nose up in the air and act like we are complete idiots, and we're not. A lot of us know just as much as archaeologists, and we may not have the degree they have, but a lot of us know just as much as they do and care twice as much about what's in the ground. And I say that, I'm not trying to step on, feelings or bruise egos or, I think that if we all learn to respect each other in the community, because really, we want to uncover the amazing things that might be lost forever. I think that's what any good detectorist wants to do, right? And I think they think we're just pulling it out of the ground, ruining the story that's there. Hey, I'm all about telling the story. That's why I dig and find stuff and, mark the stuff that I do. I think it's, just drop into the chat and tell me right now, do you like archaeologists? Yes. Put yes if you like them, no if you don't. Drop it in there right now. I want to see that. And if you haven't smashed that like button on this live stream, you better. I tell you, you better smash that. I mentioned earlier as well, if anyone wants to donate to the channel, there is a donation option in the description. It is not mandatory. It is appreciated, but I'm going to tell you half of that will go to the Best Center because that's my buddies. Yes, Texan does. I don't like the idea of them controlling land. That's a good answer. There are some I like and some I don't. That's fair. That is fair, yeah. You know what? Like I said, I've met an archaeologist that I absolutely couldn't stand. And I'll tell you why. The chip the fella had on his shoulder was ridiculous, you know, and he was ticked off. I'll tell you what happened. They went and did an archaeological dig on a site that I had permission on. I didn't touch the site until their excavation digging was completely cleared, respected their, need for finding the truth. So the area was going to be turned into big homes, like like condos and stuff kind of thing. So it's development land, right? I think the problem with some of the archaeological things in Canada, at least now, is it's turning into a shady government money deal. And I'll tell you why. And if I go missing, it's because I said the wrong thing. It's conspiracy now. I'll tell you why. I went into this area that they were supposed to. It had two 1800s homes on it. It was a big farmer's field, plowed. I went into this area when they were done. The farmer called me, said the area is cleared. They said it's done. They're done here. I said, okay. I went in there. I found 22 1800s coins, including an 1816 silver coin. So what do? I call the farmer, and tons of other cool artifacts. I call the farmer. I say, listen, you might want to, Gilbert. No, that's an answer. All right. Yeah. So what is up, traveling? So that being said, I go, you might want to call the archaeologists and say what I found here. I said, because I don't want them to be upset with me and think I came in and raided this, even though they cleared the land. I don't. So he calls me back a couple days later and says, the archaeologist says he doesn't care too bad. They closed on the land already. So then that gets my wheels turning, and I go, how exactly did you clear this if I just found over 20 1800s coins in the area that you were supposed to be excavating? Tell me that. Or tell me they didn't just get a big wad of cash stuck in their pocket to say nothing was there so that the builder could build all these properties. That's what I think. I'm going to be honest with you. That's what I think. Few are open to new ideas, and some think that you are destroying the area. Absolutely. I so agree with you, Redbeard. Local governments close to me have banned detectorists from detecting in parks, but its archaeologists have nothing to do with it. Okay, yeah. You know what? I think, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what true good detectorists are about. That being said, we're running out of time, so what I want to do here is I want to show you, like I said, make sure you sub to this channel if you don't mind. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Sub to each other too, because we got to keep the love going. It's a loving environment. And let's go to the featured channels. I got two. So I've got a ton of channels that I reached out to on a couple Facebook groups, and people just started dropping their channels. I'm trying to subscribe to every one of them. I'm going to show you the first one, okay? So this here, this channel is, it's a really good channel actually. And I'm going to tell you why. He doesn't have many videos, and they're not very long. But it's South GA Jester, and it's a fun little channel. He's just starting out. He doesn't have very many subs, but, he's looking for help, So what you should do, go to that channel, search it up. To search it up in YouTube, you have to put the name all together because I was getting some sort of rap channel or something when I was searching it originally. So South GA Jester, all together. Search him up. Make sure you sub because he's got some good stuff. I've been watching a couple of his videos. He's pretty cool. Very short videos, so they're very quick to watch. And make sure you drop him a comment, show him some love, tell him Old Beardo sent you here. Good story, good channel though. I really like it. As I said, I'm gonna try and get to everyone. So if you want, fire me off a message on Facebook if you have me, or email me joseph_online@hotmail.com. My name's not Joseph, that's my middle name, but I've had that email address for like 30 years. It's ridiculous. And I couldn't get DJ because that's what I go by, right? Second channel, as you know, I think kids are the future of the hobby. So let me show you this little cutie. This is Miss Emily Little Dirt Diggers. She's doing pretty good actually on YouTube. I think she's got over 600. These are just pictures. I was having trouble posting the actual website. But anyway, that being said, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to her because she did this video that was trying to go viral. It was really funny. It was a music one. It's actually the one where she's wearing the bandana there. What a cute kid. And she's a good digger. She's really good at it. She's a great little detectorist, and I really, really like this kid. I think she's got an amazing channel. I absolutely love watching her videos. I think she's so full of life and spirit, and that's just awesome. It's so important. So yeah, if you sub to either one of them, just go ahead and tell them Redbeard sent you, and that watch some of their videos and make sure you like them because this is what it's about, right? It's about supporting the community. I want to read a couple of these comments here. Wow, unbelievable. I could have completely missed that comment. I'm so sorry. Just sub to South GA Jester. That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. That's what it's about. Amy Girl says, Miss Emily rocks. She's a spunky and loves the hunt. Sweetest thing ever. She is precious little one. She is. She is so cute. I tell you what. I got a little neighbor boy named Jesse, and she looks exactly like the girl version of him. Every time I look at him, I'm like, you are Emily. And he's like, what? No, I'm not. I'm Jesse. I'm like, but you look like her. You look like her. See, he has no idea what I'm talking about. He thinks I'm crazy. He's going to call the police on me eventually because I just keep calling him Emily. So, that being said, I want to know what you want to see in YouTube videos. So, are you liking the stream so far? What do you want to see me conquer on this stream? We got the treasure aspect. I try and throw random stuff in there sometimes. I want to incorporate you guys because this is a family here. Okay, this is what we're doing here. This is the family thing. So that being said. Is there anything specifically you would like to see me cover on these streams that I'm maybe not touching on yet, or it sounds so gross? Why did I say it like that? That I'm not talking about yet. Anything that maybe you think other channels haven't quite touched on that you think I'd like to hear someone talk about that. I'm full of opinions. I'll give you an opinion on anything. Now I get myself in a lot of trouble. I shouldn't do that actually. Also, what do you think the stream being on Friday night? I don't know. People either hate it or some people are like, yeah, I love your stream being on Friday. Some people are like, why would you put a stream on Friday? I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. They're drunk. So, yeah, I need to know. Is there anything you think that you might want to see me try and tackle? I mean, I know someone messaged me saying, I want to hear some inside stuff about Minelab. I'm going to tell you something. Thanks so much for stopping in. I really appreciate you stopping and watching, Beepin. So I got a message from someone saying, oh, I want to show you my shirt. This is my famous shirt. This is my baby shirt. There you go. I'm wearing the baby shirt. That's a famous shirt. Videos are fabulous because newbies to pros can understand you. They are creative and helpful and shows your personality. Oh, I love you. I do. I love you. You're the best. Thank you so much. Yes, even when I'm throwing bugs. I teach how to throw bugs basically in my videos. So I want to know, what was I talking about now? I got distracted by my baby shirt. See how that works? I can tell you what, I got the worst ADHD ever. I'm the guy that if I'm metal detecting and a squirrel, like I got like this amazing target and a squirrel's like, I'm like, oh, a fluffy squirrel. It's bad. It's pretty bad. So I'm going to yes, all the shiny coins. You're right. I'm going to be featuring at least 2 channels on the stream every week. You like the way I interact with the chat? Thank you so much. You know what? I think it's important, right? Because I think what you say is actually more important than what I say, which is why I know a lot of people, they try to make the show about themselves, and I definitely do not want to do that. I want to make this show about you. I think that's what's important. That's why I'm trying to get you guys to sub to each other and everything else, because that's what it's about. I want you guys to be the focus. So that's why, I want to, I'm going to keep the treasure thing. I'm going to do 2 channels or maybe 3. You think 3 is too much to incorporate in the hour show? It's hard to say. Anyway, if you want to be one of the shows on here, because like I said, I've got a bunch that are like lining up and everything. Fire me off a message. If you have me on Facebook, say what's up. Just say, hey, like to be on the live stream thing. Want to, Also, if you ever want to share the live stream, go ahead. Feel free to. I would love that. I really appreciate all the support. And I like hanging out with you guys on a Friday. Do Fridays work? Friday nights work for you? You have no life. I have no life either, so that's okay. You're real and down to earth. This is my first live stream of yours that I got to watch, and I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Ambient Girl. I tell you what, every time I post a video and I see your comment, I tell you what, you leave some of the nicest comments, and it touches me. It's right. Like, hold on, let me show you right here, but not on the baby face, like the heart. It's not the baby's face. I'm touching my heart there. And if you're wondering, I'm going to be trying to film some videos coming up soon, exploring, but also metal detecting videos. I'm just so busy. Like I said, don't hit the baby. She's going to call CAS on me because I smacked the fake baby. It's hard for me right now because, like I said, I've got a lot of other stuff on the go. I'm filming some like promo stuff for Mind Lab. And then, I'm in the works on, I think it's 2 or 3 different television shows right now. So I'm back and forth with production companies on those and stuff. And it's really time consuming. When I can tell you more about those shows, I will. So with regards to the one show, I'll tell you that it's a show that's been on since 2015. It's on Science Channel. I'm just telling you what I'm allowed to tell you. It's on Science Channel. I'm supposed to be getting contacted within the next week, I think, about what the filming schedule is going to be. It is going to be a treasure hunting episode of this show. I'll give you a brief rundown of the show. It uses satellite imagery to find out different things, and then different things are searched from that satellite imagery to see if what you think the satellite imagery is actually there, or what it is, and if it's actually able to be seen through the satellite imaging. So this is going to be a treasure hunting episode for us. I'm really excited to film that. It's going to be cool. Going to be somewhere in the States. I don't even know what treasure I'll be hunting for. The story producer is working on something. I don't know what it is. So that's going to be really cool, filming that. And then, of course, when it's out and everything, I'll let you know when it'll be released and stuff. If it gets filmed, it's supposed to. But, I don't know, right? Been subbed to your channel for a while, but my first time in live stream, it's awesome. Ah, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I'm running overtime now, so I don't want to have to charge you overtime here. Sounds like a show I'll be watching. That's what I love to hear. Appreciate you guys coming out. I tell you what, I'm gonna give you the exit screen now. Thank you so much. Make sure you sub to everyone. If you haven't subbed to me yet, please do so. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. Really appreciate you. See you next Friday. Huh? Thanks so much, guys. Take care.